Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a slipcase. And you slipcase pieces that are framed and glazed. So the artwork is protected underneath. You don't have to worry about materials touching the face of the piece. First thing we need to do when we're going to slipcase is we need to put poly on the piece. So I'm going to cut a piece, and we open this up. And you just take your knife and cut it. Bring the poly over and over this way. You'll see a seam here, a line. Try to get that so that it lines up, so it's a nice package. You want this to look like it's a gift. Now the piece has poly on it, you can take your gloves off. Tape gun, little piece of tape, and we always pull tab. You think about the next guy that has to open it, and it's a lot easier when it has a pull tab. And you adhere it there, and then push the poly this way. You want to make it tight and pull that way and tap it like that. And we'll just do two more here. And it's like wrapping a birthday present. Fold it this way, but then we roll it in like that. So now there's no open seam anywhere. Bring this over. Again, always a pull tab, and you put one in the middle. Again, pull that tight, and you have to seal every seam. And then we have the one seam left here. And now your piece is polyed. Now for the slipcase itself. I'm gonna go grab some cardboard. There's a good side and a bad side on cardboard. You can see this side has ridges on it, corrugation. That's the side you want to work on, because the other side is a nice side, and that's gonna be the side that's exposed. So we position the piece so we have about the same amount of cardboard on this side as we do on this side. So these flaps will go over first, and these are the flaps that are going to completely cover the piece. And there's always a factory edge, that's the uncut edge. That's the edge we use to use our T-square. I'll just put a mark here. And now the piece I know is square on the cardboard, so now I'll just mark all four sides, and I'll mark here. Now I can take this away. And what I'm going to do is just score these four lines. And it's always good to score on the outside of the mark, so you have a little extra space so when you fold the cardboard, it's not too tight. These areas here need to be cut off. And again, try to stay nice, clean, straight lines. And one thing to remember before you start your project, if it has an ID number, make sure you write that down and put it someplace. Otherwise, you'll wrap the whole piece and you'll forget what number it is, and you have to unwrap it and do it again. And the other thing to remember is to mark the top and the bottom, because you want the piece to be in a correct position. The next thing is to make the flaps. So we bring these up. Bring this up like this, and you just take your pencil, mark it a couple places. Take your straight edge. Again, you're going to score this line, not cut it, score it. Keep the pencil line. So you're going to score on the other side of the pencil line. And then that folds over, and you got a nice crisp corner, right? Then you bring this up, and you mark that. Bring this up and mark that. You've got to do these flaps first, the ones that aren't going to cover the entire piece. When this goes over, you need to add this thickness of the cardboard. And you turn this around, and you do the same process on this side. You bring this up with your pencil. Always use a pencil. Don't use marker. Don't use pen, because ink is a chance that the ink can transfer into the artwork. Always use a pencil. Score that. So we have these two flaps. Those are done. So now next thing, we have these marks here. We have to score these as well. So this comes over. Okay, you want to keep it tight. Now I just cut a small piece of tape. And what I do, put half of it here and half it overhangs this way. Usually when you put the tape on it, you can see the dark, you can see the light through the tape, so you know you're about halfway. And just bring this over. And then this tucks in this way, and this comes down that way. So you have a nice clean corner. Fold this in, fold that down. So, okay, now you're getting close. Score this one. Same thing. And before I go any further, I'm going to remember this is the top by lifting it up. And I put an arrow or a little mark, it doesn't matter, but in this little corner here, because I know I'm going to put a sticker on that later and it's going to get covered. So now that I know that's the top, you end up doing it, spinning it around so many times you lose track of where it is. So what I'll do is I'll bring this over, and then you can see where the other flap ends. I'll just take my knife and carefully just mark, just like that. I'll do the same on this side. I see where this flap ends, and I just mark it like that. Then I flip this open, and you can see your two cut marks here. Give it a little less because you want to make sure that it doesn't overlap here. So we're just trimming a little bit short. And then when it comes over, it matches, right? And we'll just put this piece of tape just to sort of hold everything in place. Same thing, we'll do half on the cardboard, half hanging over. Pull that tight. It folds in there, that folds down. So now I'll take a piece of tape about, the width of the piece, plus I have to go around these edges. I tear that, and I try to line it up, this edge with this edge, so it doesn't look like you taped it twice. And the same thing, we tuck that in, and then the whole thing, start from the middle, press down, and like that. Okay, so that side's done. Now I do the same thing on the other side. Now the only seam you have left is right here. That's it. And then you look for your mark. There it is. So I know this is the top. So I'll just write, this is the face. Neatness counts. Use your best penmanship. And then if there were an ID number, I would write that here. Stickers. This is the best part of the job. I kind of overdo it with the stickers, but it looks nice. So there's a line here. I just sort of line that up with my edge. So you have this so you can see, and it also reads from the side. That's it. That's a slipcase.